All right, welcome back to the Executive Playbook, the show where we go inside the minds of founders, operators, and investors, building what's next. I'm your host, Jay Twitty. Today's episode is all about leading remote teams and maintaining deep collaboration across software teams. So, no matter where they're based, we're in an era where remote work isn't just a trend, it's really the norm. And forward thinking leaders are rewriting the playbook to make it work at scale. So, my guest today, Jay Daks, an award-winning founder and IT consultant. His track record spans multiple continents and industries. He is the founder of Hexagon IT Solution, where he leads a team of developers delivering enterprise-grade software, CRMs, ERPs to advanced mobile applications, API integrations, dashboards, you name it, those guys can create it. A serial entrepreneur bringing nearly 2 decades of experience solving complex digital challenges through custom tech. Jay has also companies that have supported clients in the US and the UAE, and his leadership reflects a rare balance of technical depth, business intuition, and global execution. So, Jay, welcome to the show. Really excited to have you on. If we could just start by having you introduce yourself in your own words, a little bit, maybe what drew you to product management and the software space in the beginning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, sir.
Um, so we are based out of Utah. We have been in the industry for 16 plus years, and we the way we started is I personally saw like a huge technical gap between what the customers want and what people are providing as a service. I found a gap in it where people were unsatisfied. People were a little bit worried about asking questions to a development company, or even like if they ask a question, if the developer is going to come back and make them to feel dumb. So we felt like there's a lot of that. People have ideas, requirements, but they don't know how to verbalize it. So I saw that as uh, a gap in the space, and I thought I can play that where I can play the role of being a customer advocate and understand what their requirements is, and I can translate that from the architecture's point of view. What I can because I basically do. Architecture for my company's any kind of product or software development. And then I can communicate to the developers what the customer wants. And that way they get what they are thinking or wishing for. So that's where we started as a smaller company in the market where construction is a huge thing, where they don't really want to change from Excel sheets to an application. So that so
That's true.
so we kind of got into that and started having conversations with customers related to that, and that slowly picked up for us, and that's where we started.
Awesome, awesome. So you say that's your still role today, kind of like the architecture. You say kind of being the liaison between your clients and the developers, or
Yeah.
what's really your current role, and maybe how that's shifted over the past few years with the
So
changes in the market.
so as the current role is primarily being the chief architect and information officer for my company, where I architect the products and solutions that we deliver, as well as custom build for our customers. I play a central role in between the customer and the development teams. Like for instance, we are spread across the world right now just to accommodate 24/7 services. So we have a dev team in Utah, and we have a dev team in that's our main uh, dev shop in India, UAE, and then we have a very like it's a very nimble setup in the UK. We are working through to see how we can do a similar setup that we have in the UAE in South America right now. But that's so our team is spread across. So I need like all our project managers need to be in a position where they will be uh, vocalized, means they really need to communicate properly to our teams. Even though we have a team in Utah, most of the heavy work is done from India or UAE. So our communication is a huge thing for us.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. What are some of the most effective collaboration habits that you've seen or implemented across your different product teams?
Initially, we used to like have you know, Teams call or something like that. Then we started seeing that our productivity was dropping, so we wanted to streamline the processes. So as we were streamlining the processes, we put some processes in place. We use tools like Jira, Notion, and Slack, and Teams to streamline the entire communication process. So we built some custom dashboards for our own company in Jira, so we can look at different milestones of a project, or if a project is stuck, where they're stuck, we will be able to identify those tickets, go in, look at those stories, address those stories on time, and then have regular Scrum meetings. And they also the dev team has their own Scrum meeting, and then we have a project manager Scrum team. So after their meeting is over, they communicate what they're stuck at, or if they're having issues from what the client requirement is. So we have conversations with the client, and then that we kind of try to make sure that everything is transparent from the client all the way down to our developers and the QA teams. So that way there's no gaps in between us.
Yeah. So heard some familiar systems in there like Notion and Slack. I know a lot of people are using
Mhm.
those very much so. Yeah. So as far as like, building a culture and human connectivity in your global teams, how do you kind of maintain that? And, maybe I guess another thing that you want to do, I'm pretty sure, recruiting and, maintaining a solid, certain level of skill set is important. How do you make sure that maintain the culture with your teams?
Just being nice, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, we have had like we have developers that have worked with us for 10 plus years now.
Hmm.
They've been with
That's
us.
awesome.
We have guys who have been with me from the time we started the company.
Perfect.
Um, one of the things that we as a company we adopted is putting the customer first, and then everything around the customer. Sometimes we go beyond what we usually, from the development team, you need to do. We even some of our developers even help customers to find their hardware, even though that's not what we need to do. We
Yeah,
try to be a champion for the customer so they can always rely on us. The other part of that is that the customer never leaves you. They know they can come to you for any requirement, and they'll be able to get uh, what they want. Like if they have a question, they're not worried about coming and talking to you. It doesn't need to translate into a project, but at least you would know they would know that they're going to get a honest feedback from us. So we implemented that across our company, so everybody has a voice, and they can be very open with the customer and explaining the information that needs to be communicated to them. So we kind of keep it more transparent between our teams as well as with our customers, which has helped us a lot.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, making sure that your customers taken care of. I'm sure that helps the bottom line a lot, and provides another thing I've talked about recently is really doing work that you are able to connect with. That's meaningful work, things like that. I'm sure that's very important as well to your team, and one of the things that sticks out for the client, the culture that you're creating there as well, for sure. Yeah.
That's true.
Um, mhm. So, AI is a big thing that's taken over the space and the airwaves. A lot of people are trying to shift. How do you see AI shifting the way that software teams collaborate? code and communicate over the next 3 to 5 years? I know there's some, a lot of talk about, maybe some, developers not really being needed as much with AI. How are you guys kind of addressing that? And what do you see over the next few years?
There's lots of training going on, definitely for our dev team, because there's a huge cultural shift, right? Everybody, when people were using desktops, it was a different model. When they moved into mobile, all of a sudden everybody expects you to build something that's like an app for them to use instead of using from a desktop. The consumption changed. Now everybody thinks everything needs to be more analytical. You get like in instant data. It's like watching all these movies. They feel like that things needs to be like that. Like everything needs to be given to you immediately. So we are we have a training program right now, where our current development team is going through that. They're going through the process of learning more about AI, prompt engineering, and all that. There's also tools like Cursor, and like Google has a pretty cool Gemini part of it where the code is can be created. Same with Open AI. All of these platforms generate codes, but what are we have told we are training our engineers is like you can generate it, but then you need to go through it to make sure it actually meets what the business requires. Also, it meets the standard.
Hmm.
But everything cannot, like as you said, it's not there yet, but at one day it's going to be. We don't know whether it's going to be within the 2 year cycle or whether it's going to be 3 year cycle, but we are definitely preparing. So we are more on the side of like doing the QA and making sure that whatever code is generated is usable and it is not replicable,
Hmm.
uh, and then it can be put into good use. So that's what we are trying to see how we can achieve that. We definitely see that maybe five years from now, there won't be like per se developer, but it might be like a prompt engineer.
Hmm.
That's how it looks like it might go, but we are getting prepared for that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So a ton of training, getting your people prepared, and I guess just forward outlook and being prepared for whatever. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Cool. So as far as your leadership playbook, what's maybe one belief or principle that you consistently come back to when leading your developer teams remotely?
The primary is being very communicative, be clear, and put processes in place. So the process dictates the productivity, and not having million questions asked. Hey, did you do this? Did you do this? Instead, if you put the processes in place, the process dictates the productivity at that point.
Gotcha. Cool. So very simple. Like just make sure you have the process in place. Well, awesome, man. So
Mhm.
really appreciate this, Jay. Before we wrap up, where is the best place for folks to connect with you, follow your work, learn more about what you're up to?
Um, they can go to our website, hexagonitsolutions.com. They can contact us. Like if they want to send me an email, they can send to dax@hexagonitsolutions.com. If they want to reach out to our sales and marketing team, they can reach out to info@hexagonitsolutions.com or just call us. We are available.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thanks again, Jay. That was rich. To our listeners, if this episode gave you any insight into managing high performing remote teams or sparked a new idea when using the XAI to leverage up your collaboration, make sure you follow the Executive Playbook wherever you get your podcasts. I'll be back soon for more conversations with leaders building what's next. Until then, keep executing with vision.
Thank you.